Dick Emery, the renowned British comedian and actor, left an indelible mark on entertainment, with his exceptional talent for creating memorable characters and delivering laughter to audiences for decades. With a catchphrase that became synonymous with his comedic style, "Ooh, you are awful, but I like you," Emery brought to life a colorful array of characters, each brimming with their own quirks and eccentricities. In this video, we'll take a look at that catchphrase's origin as well as some of his most memorable characters. Join Facts First UK as we present the origin of Dick Emery's famous catchphrase. Who was Dick Emery? Dick Emery, born Richard Gilbert Emery on February 19, 1915 in London, was a beloved comedian and actor who left an indelible mark on entertainment. He began in the entertainment industry during the 1940s, initially performing in radio programs and variety shows. His comedic talent quickly became evident, and he transitioned into television, where he would achieve fame and recognition. Emery's breakthrough came in the 1960s, when he was given his own show, The Dick Emery Show, which aired from 1963 to 81. It became immensely popular and showcased his remarkable ability to create a wide range of memorable and hilarious characters. His characters often tapped into the quirks and idiosyncrasies of everyday people and social archetypes, making his humor relatable to a broad audience. His influence can still be seen in the work of comedians who followed in his footsteps. Emery passed away January 2, 1983, but his legacy as a comedic icon endures. The famous catchphrase. Dick was known for his popular catchphrase, "Ooh, you are awful, but I like you." The catchphrase became synonymous with his comedy style and contributed to his enduring popularity. The origins of the famous catchphrase can be traced back to his career in the entertainment industry in the 40s when he was a radio performer, but it really came to its own during his show, The Dick Emery Show, airing from 1963 to 81. One of his most beloved characters was Mandy, a blonde, brassy, and flirtatious woman who used the catchphrase, "Ooh, you are awful, but I like you." Mandy would typically use this line when encountering a dubious or morally questionable character. The catchphrase became an instant hit with audiences and quickly became a part of the cultural lexicon. It perfectly encapsulated the humorous and cheeky tone of Emery's comedy, where he often played characters who were endearing despite their flaws. Mandy's flirtatious and playful persona, combined with her use of the catchphrase, made her a memorable character. Let's talk some more about Dick's many characters. The Ton-Up Boy. The Ton-Up Boy character was created by Dick as a satirical portrayal of a stereotypical young, rebellious, and working-class British motorcyclist from the 1950s and 60s. The term Ton-Up Boy comes from the slang used during that era, referring to young men who aspired to achieve speeds of 100 miles per hour, hence the ton in the name, on their motorcycles, often with a disregard for safety and the law. The character typically wore a leather jacket adorned with various badges and patches, denim jeans, and sturdy boots. He often sported a greased-up, slicked-back hairstyle and a rugged appearance. The Ton-Up Boy was known for his brash, rebellious attitude. He would often display cocky confidence and devil-may-care demeanor. His behavior was a humorous caricature of the young motorcycle enthusiasts of the time. Like many of Emery's characters, the Ton-Up Boy had a repertoire of catchphrases. One of his most famous lines was, "You great nit," which he would use to insult or mock others. The Ton-Up Boy character was a recurring presence on The Dick Emery Show during the 60s and 70s. Emery's portrayal of the character allowed him to satirize the youth culture and rebellious spirit of the era, providing humorous commentary on the changing social landscape of post-war Britain. The Traffic Warden. Dick Emery's character, the Traffic Warden, was created as a comedic representation of the stereotypical parking enforcement officer. Traffic wardens, also known as parking attendants or meter maids, are responsible for regulating and enforcing parking regulations in urban areas. The character of the Traffic Warden allowed Emery to playfully lampoon this role and the interactions people had with traffic wardens. Emery's portrayal of the character typically included the official uniform worn by traffic wardens, which consisted of a hat, a uniform jacket, and often a handheld parking ticket device. The uniform was instantly recognizable, and Emery exaggerated its appearance for comedic effect. His character portrayed traffic wardens as officious, stern, and unyielding when it came to issuing parking tickets. He used the character to highlight the often contentious relationship between the public and traffic wardens, emphasizing their strict enforcement of parking regulations. Like many of Dick's characters, the traffic warden had a set of catchphrases that he would use during sketches. One of his well-known lines was, "I'll have to give you a ticket, I suppose." This catchphrase humorously captured the character's reluctance to issue fines while implying he had no other choice. Emery's portrayal allowed him to poke fun at the frustrations and occasional confrontations that people experienced when dealing with parking enforcement officers. Hettie. The character of Hettie was created by Dick as a comedic representation of a rather eccentric, middle-aged woman with a flair for extravagant fashion and a penchant for gossip and socializing. Hettie's character allowed him to explore the idiosyncrasies and humorous quirks of a certain type of British woman from the era. One of the most notable aspects of her character was her outlandish and eye-catching attire. She often wore elaborate, brightly colored and mismatched outfits adorned with frills, feathers, and extravagant accessories. Her fashion sense was intentionally over the top and played a significant role in the comedic appeal of the character. She was portrayed as a chatty and gregarious woman who loved to engage in gossip and socializing. She often appeared to be unaware of her own eccentricity, which only added to the humor. She would enthusiastically recount the latest neighborhood scandals or her own amusing adventures. Hettie became a recurring and beloved character on The Dick Emery Show, captivating audiences with her flamboyant appearance, quirky personality, and distinctive catchphrases. The Bovver Boy. Dick Emery's character, the Bovver Boy, was created as a satirical representation of the stereotypical young, rebellious, and often mischievous working-class British youth, commonly referred to as Bovver Boys or Yobs in British slang. These were typically teens or young adults associated with subcultures that often involved rowdy behavior and a disregard for authority. Emery's portrayal of the character often included wearing typical attire associated with the youth subcultures of the era. He'd wear jeans, t-shirts, and jackets, and his hair would be styled in a disheveled manner. The character's appearance reflected the rebellious and anti-establishment attitude of the Bovver Boy subculture. The Bovver Boy was characterized by his cheeky, irreverent, and sometimes confrontational behavior. He was known for his love of pranks, mischief, and playful troublemaking. His interactions with authority figures or other characters on the show often resulted in humorous conflicts and misunderstandings. He was a recurring presence on the show during the 60s and 70s. Emery's portrayal allowed him to lampoon the youth subcultures of the time and explore the generational clashes and misunderstandings that often arose between young people and older authority figures. These were just a handful of his many characters and catchphrases. Which were your favorite? Let us know in the comment section below.